welcome back to the Denim Nerds. I am Josh, and we need to talk about the X-Men and Doctor Doom. We actually have a brand new rumor about Doctor Doom and some brand new news about the Fox X-Men. And when you combine these two rumors together, we get a really good look at what might be happening in Avengers Doomsday. And oh my God, this shit is dope, man. They're cooking. That's them because it's hot. They're cooking. Okay, so first off, let's talk about the X-Men. Now, one of the things that's apparent due to not only the announcements that Marvel made, but also a lot of stuff that insiders have said since that announcement, is that the universe at the end of the Marvels, that universe is going to be a Fox X-Men universe. Alex Perez, really went into this in detail, but essentially, it's going to be an alternate universe that has X-Men, and they're going to all look like, generally, the Fox X-Men. And I think there's even more of them coming, so I do think Jean will probably be a part of it, right? Femke Jenkins wasn't one of the names. But the point is, right now, Monica Rambeau is on that plane. She's in that universe with the X-Men. And according to Alex, she just wants to get home. However, her being in that universe will cause an incursion between Earth 616 and that Earth. And that's where you're going to get a big conflict in the movie. This is where you're going to have the heroes of 616, who we did also see in those chairs. They're going to fight off against the X-Men because just like in the comic books, this incursion will force both Earths into a conflict, and unless one of those Earths is destroyed or some other thing happens that shut off the incursion, then both universes are going to be destroyed. And I'm starting to think these might be some of the only universes remaining. I mean, the sacred timeline is the sacred timeline. It's really important, so it's crazy to think that it might be threatened by an incursion, but it does seem like that's what it's going to be. Like, Earth 616 is going to have an incursion with this X-Men universe. That's how you're going to get the X-Men actors and the Avengers actors to have some kind of a big fight. And this does also match something that happened in the comic books at the end of Jonathan Hickman's big Avengers and New Avengers run, right before Secret Wars. The Ultimates universe and the main Marvel Comics 616 universe did have an incursion, and they both fought, and they both were destroyed. It didn't matter, but it was really epic. There were some cool scenes that happened there, so maybe the movie will take advantage of that and give us some really cool fan service at the end of all things, with an X-Men universe versus an Avengers universe fighting to the death. I mean, dude, that could be really cool. But I kind of keep thinking this movie is called Doomsday, and the big draw and the big mystery really is about Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom and what that whole thing is. So I had a little trouble figuring out how this X-Men thing would fit into that. Now, this is where it's going to get kind of crazy, man, because there's a rumor out there about Tony Stark and Doctor Doom, and this rumor has been picking up a lot of steam. And in fact, yesterday, Grace Randolph was doing a live stream, and she kind of let it slip that she has also heard that this rumor is true. So this is a big deal. So the rumor comes from My Time to Shine Hello, and it is that the Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom is going to first present himself as Tony Stark. Now, the way Shine said it was a little bit more vague. She was saying that he's going to present himself as an ally, and he's going to use the fact that he looks like Tony Stark to present himself as an ally. But I mean, even if you just hear that, if you take that to its natural conclusion, yeah, he's going to pretend to be Tony Stark. And I had made the point in some recent videos that this matched up with what Paul from Heavy Spoilers had first said when he was talking about the evil Black Widow. That essentially the idea from McFeely is to have the characters assume these are the actual variants. These are the actual people that they lost, the actual heroes that they love. But they're not. They're evil, and that's going to be crazy. But when you think about the X-Men, it's like, okay, but how does that fit into all of this? Well, here's the thing. The current Avengers, the current people that are in 616, they are literally no match for the Fox X-Men. Like, the Hulk isn't even totally raging out, and there's some indication that this conflict is what's going to maybe force him to rage out, and he's going to actually have a fight with Hugh Jackman Wolverine. Let's go. That would be totally sick, and it's kind of set up in Deadpool and Wolverine. That's awesome. And they do have the Sentry. Sentry's a big time heavy hitter. He's crazy. He's going to go nuts. But I mean, dude, the X-Men are just too much, dude. Like, Xavier, Magneto together, like an X-Men universe. Come on, man. Like, I don't know. The Avengers are going to get fucked. However, if this is going down and all of a sudden you have these Avengers, the older versions of the Avengers, pop back up, then all of a sudden the Avengers have a much better chance. It might sound really crazy to say, but Tony Stark does give the Avengers a huge advantage. The way he can manipulate tech, and he can even make suits that are non-metallic or don't interact with Magneto's powers. Tony's a huge freaking deal. It's also a huge freaking deal to have Captain America. Captain America is not only super strong, but he's an incredible military strategist. He's key to fighting against the X-Men. And so I think it is possible that during this conflict with the incursions, these Avengers present themselves to the 616 heroes. They pretend to be the actual heroic versions, and then in the midst of this conflict with the X-Men, they flip and they actually have their own real goal. Maybe it was just to eliminate that X-Men universe. Maybe it was to preserve the sacred timeline. Maybe it was to get close to all the heroes of 616. Maybe it's to get the bangle that Monica Rambeau has. Either way, the rumors feel like they are accurate. It does seem like the evil Avengers are going to first present themselves as heroic. And when you think about the Avengers versus X-Men conflict and this incursion and the rumors about that, it makes a lot of sense if these characters would say, hey, look, I'm actually Tony Stark. Guys, I know this is crazy. I'm from the multiverse, but there's a lot on the line here. The X-Men universe versus the Avengers universe. Let's go. And if that's really what it is, that is going to be pretty mind-blowing. That is going to be pretty fun to see on the screen. But I also kind of think Dr. Doom is going to separate people. Like in Infinity War, the movie really moves around a lot. It uses vignettes. You follow different groups of heroes, different groups of villains, sort of side missions. And I've been told that that's going to happen in Avengers Doomsday as well. And it kind of makes sense. I mean, there's so much that needs to operate in this movie. I almost feel like Dr. Doom is going to be more with Clea and Doctor Strange and potentially Tom Holland Spider-Man. But I obviously feel other Avengers will be fighting against the X-Men due to this incursion. And that might include Steve Rogers, the evil version, or whatever, maybe pretending to be good, maybe not. This is wild. Like, they're cooking some really crazy stuff. Avengers versus X-Men, incursion, Doctor Doom, he's Tony Stark somehow. What the fuck? At the end of the day, this all leads towards Battle World, right? So that's going to be a whole thing, and that's going to be a different dynamic. We've been told the mutants and the X-Men are a big part of the next two Avengers movies. We thought maybe that was due to the Scarlet Witch and her and Doom. Maybe it is still that, but it's also this X-Men world versus Avengers, and then the X-Men on Battle World. And this Avengers versus X-Men fight might be remembered by people, and it might foster feelings that create an Avengers versus X-Men conflict after Secret Wars. I don't know. There's a lot that could be going on here. And I actually think this could be real. So I want to know what you think about this theory. Do you think it would be cool if the Avengers first present themselves as heroes and try to help the Avengers fight against the X-Men? And how do you think Doctor Doom's overall plan would fit into that? Because it is a movie called Doomsday, and we've heard a lot about Doom's motivation and how they want to build him up in a similar way that they did with Thanos in the Infinity War movie. So I still have a lot of trouble figuring out how all of this fits together, but that's okay. Like, it's fun. This is mysterious. We don't exactly know, and there's a lot of fun, hyped up stuff that is rumored. Let's go. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.